Hi everyone, thanks for tuning into my channel, Huub Hildenbrand Guitar Academia. Today we have lesson 3 on Tihais. So we go on with our journey on Tihais, and I really expect that you also watched the two previous lessons on Tihai, so Tihai 1 and 2, because I'm going on with that course and I do not really want to explain like everything again. So not starting from scratch, but I'm assuming that you already know what the whole thing is about. Otherwise, go back to these lessons. I put also the link down in the description below. I have actually a cool device, and that is a chart. It looks like that. It's actually like 2 pages glued together. And this you also find in the description below, of course. And what that gives me, yeah, you see all these lines and columns. I think it's like this is a column and this is a line. I hope so. Vocabulary, maybe I'm wrong. But anyway, you see there, and this is what I wrote something in, and I will explain this very quick here. What this gives you is actually you have all these beats in the bottom line. There are beats counted backwards, so from 1 to 37, and these are the beats we are calculating. Yeah, so when we say, okay, we have a 16-beat cycle or 16 microbeats, and these beats can be anything, you know. We will also, I'm not really sure, but if not, I will tell it to you now. We can also consider like triplets as our microbeats. Yeah, so we can calculate triplets. We can say, okay, we have a 4/4 bar, a 4/4 note bar. But our basic speed, our microbeat speed is 8th note triplets. So we have to consider 12 8th note triplets, 12 microbeats, plus the 1, plus the shom. And the 1 is always this one, the last. Yeah, this is the 1 of the new cycle. And backwards are, we count the number which we have to calculate. So for example, we would say, okay, if we would have a 4/4 bar, 4 quarter notes, and we have like Tisra Jati, which means 8th note triplets. So in a 4/4 bar, we have 12 8th note triplets. So we calculating 13 microbeats. Yeah? So we go backwards from here, 1, 2, 3, and so on until 13. So we know the 13 will be our 1. Now that's something we will just add to this page, and that's what I already added here down below. I added this here I added like 16ths because I want to show you something later. So I just wrote in like 16ths, like 16 16ths, and here that 1. So I know immediately what I can do on starting on every microbeat, every 16. So my 12 would be like then I would say, okay, 13 is my 1, is my first beat, and then I see, okay, 3 2, 3 2. So I always have a number, and then a line, yeah, a vertical line, and then another number. The first number is the amount or the number of microbeats of notes which I play. So the first number is 3. So I think of 3 could be like we stay in Phrygian also for this lesson. So we take let's just make it simple. So 1 2 3. So I make sure that my last beat of this 3 My last note is a kind of resolution note. So I take my root as this note. So 1, 2, 3. Okay, that's the 3. That we can, and of course the 3 can be any note combination. And also when you watch the lesson before with the 11, we talked a lot of, we talked about all these different techniques of variation, you know, inserting Diri, leaving out certain notes for gaps or whatever. So many or different groupings. Well, with 2 we can't really group too much, but yeah, but maybe with double speed, whatever. There's so many possibilities, you know that. And so when we have on the page our 3 and then this 2 after this line, the 2 means the number of gaps. So the first number is the number of notes, yeah, microbeats considering notes, and the second number is microbeats considering gaps. So if we have on the 13, which is our 1 of a 4/4 bar, calculating microbeats in 8th note triplets, then we would say, okay, 3, 2. So 1, 2, 3, 2 gaps, 1, 2, 3, 2 gaps, 1, 2, 3 would come on our shom, on our 1 of the next measure or next cycle. So we could, let's do that. Let's take the... So instead of what we always had before, these like tucky-dimmy, like 16ths as a microbeat, we now say like tucky-to, 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 tucky. So you 1, 2, 3, 1, 1, 1, 2, 3, 1, 1, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, so we have our Tihai. We know we can just see it on the page. We just look what we can do on starting with 13 beats, which we need here, and then under that we see like 1 and 5. Okay, that's a very simple one. In this case, I mean, it really depends on what kind of microtonal on what microbeat, what are you calculating? Whether these are like 4 microbeats per pulse or 3 or 2, you know, I mean, it's like, or 5. It's like can be really different, the outcome. So we can also do like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1. Yeah, that's like just very, very simple. But we can explore that much more, you know. You can now explore all these different numbers just for this one measure of quarter note triplets, 1 4/4 bar of quarter note triplets. You have all possibilities there, yeah. All if you say my quarter note, my 8th note triplets, they are my microbeats. Then these are all possibilities. And that goes really, you can say, okay, 13 plus 12, 25. I can start from here and have like 2 measures of quarter note triplets, microbeats. Let's do that. 7 plus 2. 7 plus 2. So let's take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2. 1, 2. Okay, so we do that. Tucky to, wonky to, tucky to, tucky to, tucky to. Ah, wrong scale. 1, 2. 1, 2. Okay, that's also a very simple one. Some are simple, some are not. Yeah, so that's the chart actually. You can just without all this calculation. Remember in the first lesson we were talking about this calculation, and of course you still need that in some. I mean, you need to be able to calculate these things also without this this chart, of course. But the chart is really cool because you really can check, okay, how many microbeats do I need for this Tihai, where I want to start, and what is a microbeat division in this measure, and then you have a certain number, and then you see all these possibilities you have there, and you can also see, okay, starting from beat, I mean, like a Tihai, a 33 beat Tihai would be, for example, 11 without a gap. That's what we talked about in the last lesson. Yeah, 11 without a gap. But it would be also 9 with 3 gaps, or 7 with 6 gaps. Or we could start 1 microbeat later on 32 and have like a 6 beat Tihai with 7 gaps. And everything is written there, you know. Also you can, you see like in a vertical way, if you have, for example, a nice 5 beat, 5 microbeat phrase, you can just see all this in that 5 line. Okay, I can start from 31 with my 5 beat Tihai and then inserting 8 gaps, for example, and so on. I mean, it's really very, very, very practical. You can be very quick, like finding out and making explore and making experiments. All right, so here I added now this is 1 bar of 16ths, okay? So 1 bar of 16ths plus 1, so I have to calculate when I'm starting, when I start on the 1 with 17 beats, okay? So for example, I see, okay, it's 5 plus 1, I mean 5 notes plus 1 gap, or 3 notes plus 4 gaps. Yeah, so let's do that. Let's try that. Let's try 3 notes plus 4 gaps. And the gaps I will always play with this Chikari thing we talked about last lesson. Yeah, so I will like play like 1 2 3 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4. Okay. So now we have 16. Tuck it, dimmy, tuck it, dimmy, tuck it, dimmy, tuck it, dimmy, tuck it, dimmy. 1 2 3 4. 1 2 3 4. 1 2 3 4. Or I have 5 with 1 gap. Or I can start, I just like really arbitrary, I'm going through that now here, just that you see how quick you can be there. We can start from the 4th 16th of the 1 with a 2 note Tihai adding 4 gaps. Yeah? 1 2 3 1 2 3 4. Oh, not 3 4. 4 1 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4. Yeah, so that's the way it goes, and yeah, and that way you can. It's really very practical. I mean, I really when I found out about that, because I did some charts before, like which were only valid for a certain like microbeat division, like for 3 like quarter note, like 8th note triplets, or 16ths, or even like quintuplets, like having 5 16ths as microbeats for 1 quarter note, and like checking out different stuff, and also like odd meters. You know, they also work for odd meters, of course. It's just it's only the difference. You have to maybe just print it out always. Just the difference what you write here, you know? It could be also like just that portion and just a 7 8, yeah? 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 1. Yeah, when I start from 8. So I can say, okay, so it's like a 7. It could be like a 7 8. Okay, so like 1 2 1 2 1 2 3 1 2 1 2 1 2 3. And then I see, okay, I can do a Tihai in 7, which is going 2 notes plus 1 gap. So 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Was this right? Yeah. 1, jump, dance, 1, 2, 3, 1. Yeah. Or I start one bar earlier with a 7. So I have 8 plus 7 is 15. So I start from 15, and there I see, okay, I can make. I have a 5 without gaps. So that's cool. So five notes without gaps. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, for example. So I have like a dum dagger Actually, I used this one when we played with one of my trios. Played like a 7, and there I already calculated that. So that's something you see very quick, and that's really cool, you know. Like and 0, this O as a number always means this is a bedon Tihai, so it has no breaths, so there are no gaps. So these are really nice also to really just go through 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah. Okay, so that's my how do you say, my speech, or my advertisement talk on that great chart. And yeah, it's down in the description below, so you should definitely download that if you want to work on Tihais. And also it supports this channel, of course. So go for it. A win-win. All right. Yeah, and always these first number is also X, and the other number is Y. Huh? Y. Is this called Y? Yeah. Okay, so because these X and Y, these are used also in this calculation, on this calculation page, right? When you see like X is always the number of beats of the pala of one part of the Tihai, and the Y is always the number of gaps. Okay, but I explained that. Now, what you also see on the page is something. When you have 3 bars, is it on the page? Do you see that on the page? No, it's almost. Yes, almost. There's one great technique, one other rule. Yeah, we talked about some rules here, like the 11 in Tintal is a magic number, or you start one beat earlier and add half a beat or half a gap. These kind of principles. Another great principle, what is very often considered in Indian classical music with Tihai, is the principle of taking a whole tala, so one whole cycle. So when we are in a 4/4 bar, we have 16 beats. So that's our calculation. We have 16 beats, and the way we can also calculate Tihai is like that. We take the whole tala, the whole 16 beats, the whole bar, but we will just omit the last one, the last microbeats. So the last 16ths in our case. We will just cut it off. So we just have 15, yeah, one less, just 15 microbeats. And instead of the 16th microbeat, we add the same the same length of the microbeat, but as a gap. Yeah, so we just omitted the last microbeat, and instead of a note, we have a gap. This gap I'm repeating. So on the next one, you can imagine, okay, after this gap comes the next one. Yeah, the first microbeat of the next cycle. So I will also insert this gap there, and will start my whole phrase, these 15 microbeats, which I started before just on one. I will start on the second microbeat, because the first microbeat already has this gap. And then I play my 15 microbeats, so the same phrase as I played before, and add another two gaps, two microbeat gaps. And then I play another time my notes, my 15 microbeats, and then the last microbeat will come on the one of the fourth cycle. So in a way I go three times the whole cycle, 3 times the whole measure, 3 times kind of these 16 microbeats, but I just have a 15 microbeat phrase and 2 gaps. So this whole 15 microbeat phrase will in a way shift. It will start on 1 and it will end the first phrase on the third 16th of the 4. Then the whole phrase will again begin on the second 16th of the 1 and will go until the 4th 16th of the 4. And then again these 2 gaps, and then the phrase starts on the third 16th of the 1 and will end on the 1 of the next phrase with the 15th microbeat. It's also on the PDF. Just get it here. Yeah, you see it also. You see it also on the PDF. How it's going, and just to do it less abstract, I have a little melody here to just show you how this sounds. So the melody is going. So we have 15 16ths. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 14. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Yeah, the 13 is also a number. Which the 13 comes between the 12 and the 14. Don't forget that. It's important when you want to count. Okay, so let's take this thing here, metronome. So it's takadimi, 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 takadimi. Oh yeah, actually I do it half speed. That's maybe also first, and then I try double speed. Okay, so instead of thinking now 16ths as my microbeats, I think 8th notes as my microbeats. So, of course, as I also said in the previous lesson, we are just talking about this Tihai, but when you have this, the way it's applied, you know, it's really in the music. I mean, of course, it's like you have improvisations. You play, you improvise, you invent, you be creative. Inspiration flows, and then at a certain moment, usually when you go high for like a climatic thing, mostly. You play this Tihai, yeah? It's like the ending of the phrase, and that's also the art, you know, not to think, okay, how is this Tihai going, and calculating it. Actually, when you play, you do not really have the time. So either you are very quick with calculations, yeah, maybe some like tabla players, they can just make it up, like they have a phrase and they're very quick in calculating how many gaps they should add, that this whole thing will resolve. Or you just have a number of Tihais which you really practiced and know where to start and how they feel, and so you can always, like a repertoire of Tihais. I think that's the most usual case. And then of course when you know some principles, different principles, how to make variations with that, like starting one beat earlier, adding half beat gap. Of course, then this more easily can lead to other Tihais. So, of course, once you're in it and once you know certain Tihais, going further is becoming easier, of course. But I just felt a little like out of nowhere to play this Tihai now for you here, because I think it's really something should be somehow developed in a musical way. Maybe I can just try that. We are actually done also with the lesson, so what I wanted to teach you, I did. All right, kind of. Okay, so I think it's a really, really nice, beautiful technique. I mean, concept. I mean, it's really playing with a rhythm and doing this repetition on like displaced repetition and resolving that to the one. It's a real yeah. It is a real nice musical thing, nice musical concept, and we will go on with that as I told you. Lesson 4 next week. By the way, subscribe to my channel and click the bell button, then you get notifications also when the new video will be uploaded, which is really every week. That's the case here on this channel. Every week a new lesson, new stuff, new topic to share with you. And also there's a possibility to support my channel. Just go in the description down below to my website, hupildenbrand.com, and there the Guitar Academia page. There you find a button where you can donate. So to get more involved, to make the whole thing more working also, would be really cool. Would really appreciate that. So that's it. Thanks for watching. My name is Hildenbrand.